Okay, this is for the final discussion for the developing world class. This is for Syria. So these are my friends.
I'm rolling.
Yeah.
I'm Delaney.
I didn't even introduce myself yet.
I'm Roland.
I'm rolling. Grover.
I'm Delaney Nelson.
I'm David Osborne. All right. So we're gonna discuss some of the topics that were on the website and also some of the questions that they had. So the first thing that we're gonna talk about is globalization. So what do you guys know about globalization?
Roland?
Oh, you want me to go for it? Well, we're talking about that in the international politics class right now, and it's just pretty much the cultural diffusion of the entire world, pretty much through trade and economics. And so, yeah, just the more connected the world is, basically. So,
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And when you took the class, did they talk about like the 1.0, 2.0, 3.0?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Syria, it's basically like let's say it's probably a 1.0 country because like 1.0 is kind of like the way they grade them as far as like how developed they are and everything. Like the U.S. is like a 3.0, Thailand would probably be a 2.0. Syria, since it's a little bit more impoverished, it's more of a 1.0, especially since they're going through more of a civil war now right now. So people that are just very impoverished, and it's one of the worst places to live right now. So don't go to Syria.
Okay.
All right. Do you guys have any questions or anything that you'd like to know more about globalization?
Just how Syria has been integrated into the globalization of the world since it's not super developed. Has it taken part in any globalization?
I guess like mostly just like economic standpoint. They have oil over there, so they distribute oil, and their main people that they distribute oil to is Iraq. And right now, the U.S. and Syria, they're trying to work at like a kind of trade thing because since Syria is kind of part of the ISS, you know what that is?
Nope.
It's like the big terrorist group.
Okay.
So the U.S. doesn't kind of want to have any relations with them right now, but they're trying to work those out so they can import and export items.
Okay.
That's kind of the main thing about it.
So, what's it going to take for them to become from a 1.0 to a 2.0, 3.0?
Right now, they need to get to the Civil War because like they can't even like really do anything. Like as far as like where they live, like they're constantly having to move because there's constant bombings and there's like lots of chemical bombings as well. And so once they get out of that Civil War and they kind of figure out their political standpoint as well, then they'll be able to progress a little bit more. But until then, it's just slowly declining. Yep. And something that they're trying to help with all the countries are the Millennium Development Goals. It's just basically a list of goals to try and solve the problems in the world. And so this is the Millennium Development Goals and your thoughts on how appropriate successful they have been and what you would suggest for the future. So you guys talked a little bit about those in your questions that you sent me because I had to come up with new development goals for the country, and like some of them was mostly just do a lot more electronics, a lot more technology integrated into their culture as well. And is there anything else that stuck out to you? That I know you said a few things in your email. I'll just have you can pull it up real quick.
Yeah.
Let me find it real quick.
You don't have memory.
No.
You don't care about Syriac children or something?
Yeah, you didn't even say anything.
I did say something.
Okay, so you said that you're taking a class right now. Let's see. You talked a lot about marketable skills and just a lot more about the economy.
Yeah. Questions about that?
So those are some of the things that you were talking about. So that's what you want for your development part, right?
Yeah. So what marketable skills do you think that Syria should have then?
Like how they can market themselves like towards like the world and everything, or
like what can they bring as far as marketable skills?
mostly just like I guess if anything, just like how they could help the world in any way is just the oil distribution, I guess. But other than that, I can't really think. Because I mean, they make clothes there and everything, but they can't really compete with China or like other places that are just a lot more developed and a lot more integrated and cheaper. Other than that, I probably just be loyal. If they can get their oil prices down, then they can definitely.
Right. Big.
Yeah, well, it's always a good thing that you touched on. Okay. And also in the class we had to have a development dollar. So the development dollar was basically, so we were all given a dollar at the beginning of the class, and we had to come up with an idea of how we could donate it and use it to develop the country.
Right.
So like we could like give it to a charity, or we could like buy something from there or something like that. And one of the ideas that I came up with was I found a charity online for the Syrian children, because right now the child mortality rate is pretty low since they can't get proper vaccinations, so they're getting diseases at young ages like polio and stuff like that. And so one thing that was one of the things that I chose to do it with. From what you read, do you think there'd be anything else that I could do with the development dollar?
Well, I think you did something good of giving it to children and things that are gonna make the mortality rate go up, just because that is the future of Syria. Them getting education, them being able to have skills and be more educated about the world and how they can help their own country will help. So I think that was good, giving it to a younger generation.
Yeah, and connected with that, with your idea of giving them more technology, so probably helping the children have more technology so they can help further their education at the same time. And with that technology, they'll help better medicine and everything like that too. So, yeah,
Okay.
good job, man.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for the suggestions. I appreciate it. All right. So next thing we're going to talk about is what direction will we have the next U.S. president take on global development for the U.S. What do you think about that?
Deep question.
Yeah, that's a deep question.
What the president should do to help Syria, or
like the
for
U.S.
the U.S.
president?
Yeah, for the U.S. What direction would you have the next U.S. president take on global development? What was this for the U.S.?
For the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
What could develop?
I don't know. What would you suggest?
I can't really think of anything that's super pretty developed. Anything good.
I feel like we should help
develop our relationships with other countries more to help other people.
Yes. Not give nuclear plans to
Right.
people in the Middle East.
Yeah.
Right.
So it'll probably be a good thing to do, not be stupid.
Yeah, we're done on.
Okay. Like that. Alright. Good deal. Alright, so what innovation in your field would be most beneficial to your adopted country? So we're gonna talk about things from our majors and how we can help the country of Syria. So
how our majors can help.
Mm-hmm.
So my major is international studies. So
Perfect.
yes, that's what I was thinking about when I took this class last year. And so I want to help and work like being like an ambassador and help other, like being like a mediator pretty much, and see how like two countries can help each other. And so like how we could maybe like kind of with the United States, like how we could be of a help to Syria, and help them reach the goals, their millennium goals. So that's one way, just to learn how to be able to be a mediator for those people.
Perfect.
Okay.
Communication.
My major is communication. But I mean, like Roland said, a lot with communications is being able to communicate and have bonds with other countries, to brand yourself as a country that can develop and that can sustain a good economy. So part of that is being connected and communicating with other countries, and also being able to communicate what your country is about. That's a big part of communications. And then again, with communications, it's technology and trying to get your values and belief systems out there. So it's a lot to do with technology and relations.
Definitely, and this kind of goes along with like my major business management and marketing, and from a marketing standpoint, like just so I feel like lots of people they don't even know about Syria, or just kind of situation that they're in right now. So if like, as far as my major goes, if I could market more for that country just to kind of get the word out, just so that people will come to Series 8 a little bit more, like market for a website that's accepting donations and stuff like that, like I was talking about earlier, just so more people know about it. That would be one way. Even if they could learn marketing skills, kind of like what you were talking about as well, if they could kind of sell themselves a little bit more to better their economy.
Right.
So, yeah. And so one thing that we also talked about in class was the example of the dialect of the local and global. So local, it's kind of like I always have a hard time explaining this, but it's kind of like you're seeing the big picture of the whole thing. Like local, like you're seeing the local problem, like you just know what's going around. Then you see like the global thing, it's like it's the big picture of it all, or like how the world sees it per se. Like in Syria, like people they say one of the things is they have problems with their vaccinations or their medicine. From a global standpoint, they may see it as, oh, it's just the civil war, it's just destroying everything, da da da. But then from a local standpoint, it may just be they're not educated on how to get their other vaccinations, or they may not know better or something like that. So that's kind of the dialogue to the local and global, and it's that same way for other countries. The world basically has one way, but locally that's what's actually happening.
Right.
Alright, so I'm gonna go over your questions a little bit from the emails I sent you guys. So Ron, we're gonna go over your stuff first.
Yeah.
So you wanted to learn a little bit more about education in Syria. So education, well, since the war and everything, a whole bunch of your kids, kind of like middle school age, they're actually losing their education because of the war, because they had to shut down lots of the schools due to religious issues. As the ISS, they are against lots of Christianity and also just their religious standpoints in Syria. So they're not. So until they fix their religious standpoints in their schools, they can't have some of the schools there. But they do have universities and everything as well.
Is that a fund that the dollar you donate, is that going for education as well as mostly just for like medicine?
I think it's mostly for medicine. Yeah. Question though. And you want to know more about the life of women in Syria as well.
Yeah, because I was kind of surprised that you said that women are actually pretty well off, like they have high standing in society. So
yeah, I was kind of surprised about the same thing as well. They're actually like they're in the military and they have equal rights as the men. Yeah. And from Laos and Thailand, how was that different?
Well, Thailand's pretty. I guess they're pretty. They have the same rights pretty much, and a lot of women are in the government and everything. And Laos is a little bit behind that, mostly because since they're a poorer country, they have to have a lot of women stay home and work and be the man bod. I don't know.
The woman of the house.
The woman of the house. They just have to work at home, so they can't go and get an education. So it's not as many. But in the government side in Laos, they actually do have a lot of women in the government. So it's pretty equalized.
Yeah. That's good stuff. And about the life of children. So it's kind of like we were talking about earlier, just since there's a war and everything, children aren't able to get a proper education right now, and they're also not able to get the proper vaccinations. And you saw the video, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty sad.
You went.
I read everything though.
Yeah, I think it's good. We'll watch the video later.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't want to cry.
It's really sad. But basically just showing like the life of like this little girl, just like she's like super happy, like going through her birthday and her everyday life. She's like going through the playground, and all of a sudden like a bomb hits her house, and like shows her running outside, and it's just like she's going through all these different camps. She's getting sick, she's losing her hair because of the chemicals and everything. And it's just like it's really sad. So that's the life of some of the children in Syria. And at the end it says just because it's not happening here doesn't mean it's not happening there. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And the cause of the Civil War was mostly just about It's just political issues. They don't like the president.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
That's that. And other than that, it's kind of the main thing. Else, did you have any? Well, these are the questions. Is there anything specific that you wanted to know from your questions that you're just dying to know? You could philosophy.
I lost sleep writing this, but no, you pretty much answered, especially about the one about children. That's the one I was most curious about, and the Civil War. Like, what was the main causes? So those are the ones I mostly want to focus on. So if you have anything else about the Civil War, like how is it now? Is it like getting close to?
It's still pretty bad. It's been going on since 2011, and it's just this seems like it's kind of getting worse.
Do you think they'll split, kind of like Sudan, South Sudan did in Africa, or?
I honestly don't know. Right now, they're just lots of people are splitting to Lebanon. It's just a neighboring country right next to them, so that's what they're doing.
Okay.
And until then, not really for sure what the people are gonna do. And then they're just kind of living in terrible, terrible circumstances. Not like how we live here at the wonderful Lexburg. Point Ivy. Rockland's a good place.
Never mind.
So, and Delaney, you wanted to know a bit more about globalization. We kind of talked a little bit about that, but do you have any other questions about it?
No, I think you covered a lot of it. I just was wondering about like how Syria is gonna work to be
more globalized.
like everyone else.
All right. And you want to know about the health and the wellness of Syria as well? What they're doing to improve overall health in their country?
Yeah, because you said that was a big problem, just mortality rate. So, just how are they doing that? Is it because they're not educated about it, or is it because it's not accessible?
Right now, it's mostly just not accessible because I think there's a high percentage, but most of the hospitals have been destroyed in Syria, and they're also having a hard time bringing in medicine as well. But one thing that I thought was just with a group who just come in, just like kind of set up tents or whatever, just so that people can get the proper vaccination, also educate them on how they could take better care of themselves. Or like, these are the symptoms for this. You need to get this if you start feeling this way, and just kind of stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, and I also wanted to know a little bit about poverty and hunger. So, no, yours was perfect. You did the little dashes with these. Exactly. So, what did you want to know more about poverty and hunger?
With the mortality rates, I guess, is it just vaccination, or is it also because of poverty and they can't eat?
That's definitely another part, because since because lots of the terrorism there, they've been doing chemical bombings, so there's been pollution, it's been disrupting their food and their agriculture and their water as well. So they're not able to get proper water and food and all that stuff. How would you feel if you were living there?
I don't know what I would do. That sounds pretty horrible.
I think so too. And you talked about how, like, with the development goals, you wanted to see how they were see how they should be evaluated so they can be met.
Yeah, just I think with because I'm a co major, like you always have to go through the research, then have your plan, and then do your plan, whatever you decided to do, and then always evaluate at the end. Because if you don't know the results and you don't know how effective it was, I just want to know how they're evaluating like their goals and how they're meeting their goals.
As far as development goes, I don't know too much about like the specifics on them. I'm pretty sure they evaluate them pretty often, but even then, I feel like they could do it more.
Right.
Because these goals were put in quite a while ago, and
like what was 2000, right?
Yeah, that was 2000.
And this is the last year, 2015.
Mm-hmm.
When they're supposed to have met these goals, 8 millennial goals.
Yeah. took the class, did you feel like they were close to meeting their goals?
And now they were in a lot of areas they already reached them, and but some areas they were still pretty far off. So a lot of it was just like helping children have a secondary education. That was pretty. There's still a lot of like mortality rate is still pretty high. So.
Yeah. In Syria, I feel like as far as like the women's rights and everything, they've kind of reached that, and also with like there are diseases, but since they live like in a desert climate, diseases can't really spread as easy. But other than that, they haven't really done too well with reaching their goals.
Okay.
I feel like, but that is definitely something they need to do, is just continually evaluate where they're at and what they can work on. All right. We talked about that. We talked about like the marketable stuff and everything, how they can market themselves. And looking through here. And you like the economic, political, and sociological perspectives. So what you're talking about. Why did you like those?
Just because I think, political wise, people in politics can make a lot of changes. So I think that's also really important. And then sociological, it's like the study of groups and how they work. If you can figure out why a group works really well together, what their strengths and how they incorporate with other groups, then it's easier to achieve goals. I think. So I think those are important.
Definitely. I think you should move to Syria and help them out. You seem like you really know how to lead a country.
Oh boy, yeah, that would not be good. No. I'm ready for Syria.
So Delaney's coming to Syria. And to you, the most interesting part of the site was the development goals, and yeah, that's what you said.
Yeah, no, I just like that they had goals that they were trying to achieve. Because if they don't even have goals or objectives or strategies and tactics or any way of getting to something, then it's hard to change anything.
Well, exactly. You have to have a goal. You have to just have something that you're working towards.
Exactly.
So I'm getting wrong and set them every day when we're companions.
Yeah.
Goals not to get chunky and stuff. Maybe talk less about Star Wars or something.
Didn't work. You didn't achieve that one.
No, it worked. Just talk like 5 minutes less.
You wore the Star Wars shirt.
He did good. Almost best companion ever. So yeah, that's pretty much Syria though. It's a nice place, but I don't think I'd really want to be there right now. Yeah, I would really say something.
Gosh, I think it's not the place to live right now. So hopefully we can just help them.
Yeah, right now, but
maybe like if they achieve their goals, we help them get there. Maybe.
Optimism.
Yeah, we'll go visit something.
Exactly, if they can achieve their goals. And before we end the video, what are 2 goals that you guys would each come up with to help the country that they could focus on?
I think they need to have more public relations with other publics around them, other countries around them, have better relationships and really build on that. And then I think one of the ways to do that and to get them more recognized is technology. But again, that's hard when you don't have a very good economy. So I guess in the end it would be to try to boost the economy so they could have things like that to really compete with other countries.
Good answer.
Yeah. So the first millennium goal is poverty, right? And hunger. That's the first one. And I feel like that's why it's number 1, because everything leads to it. Because they need to work on, like you said, the relationships with other, like through the government. But they can't do that if they're focused on helping their kids, with vaccinations and helping them have educations, and they can't help them with that if they're all hungry. So if they help them with the one that kind of goes through, trickles down and helps them. That way they can help them have those relationships with the goal. So
definitely. Well, thank you for the suggestions. I'll have to put that on there. And you guys have been great. Thank you for being part of the video. Say bye.
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 Chubby.